Hi everyone, and you're welcome to today's episode of Your Lawyer's Corner with Mo. On today's episode, I'll be reading my lawyer's handbook. I'll be reading from page 56. Defense of alibi under criminal law. Defense of alibi under criminal law. An alibi defense is a defense based on the information that the defendant was not at the scene of the crime when the crime occurred. Simply put, plea of alibi is when an accused person who was not caught in the act or at the scene of the crime says, "I was not at the scene, and at the time the alleged offense was committed, I was somewhere else. Therefore, I was not the one who committed the offense." I hope you get that. I was not at the scene of the crime, so I was not the one that committed the offense. Example of an alibi defense. If Mr. Paul is charged with selling hard drugs to a minor 2 blocks from a school, Mr. Paul can present evidence that he was at work at a construction site at the time of the sale and therefore not the person who committed the crime. Any person who was with him or saw him at the construction site at the time of the crime can testify to these facts. Know also that the defense of alibi must not only be raised but must be promptly and properly raised by the suspect to warrant consideration. The defense must be raised at the earliest opportunity to enable the prosecution to investigate the truth of the defense. In other words, it must be raised during the police or the relevant agency's pre-trial investigation. The onus of establishing the guilt of the accused is on the prosecution, but the evidential burden is on the accused to adduce some evidence of where he was at the material time. Thus, to demolish a defense of alibi, the prosecution must furnish evidence proving that the accused was at the scene of the crime. So in a nutshell, the defense of alibi means when a person is being accused of an offense, that okay, you committed so offense and is being accused of that offense, the person can raise an alibi. He or she can raise a defense to the fact that I was not the one that committed the offense. In fact, I was not at the scene of the offense. I was somewhere else. But for that defense to stand in law, he or she must be able to prove that he was not actually at the scene of that crime that is being committed, and he must prove and provide the evidence to the fact as to where he was that is different from where the crime was actually committed. I hope you have gotten value from my reading today. Before I go, remember this: don't just get mad, get a lawyer. Bye.